Welcome to Super Maxi, where today I'm going to talk about a theory I made on my TikTok. Super Maxi theory in a full-length video now. The theory was: have you ever asked yourself why there seem to be many copies of the same Earths in both DC and Marvel? But this one will mostly be talking about Marvel. Have you asked yourself this weird question? In Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Miles Morales' Earth is called 1610. But in the comics, the Ultimate Universe is 1610. Some people may say, but they're the same one. But there are key differences. Miles Morales in the Spider-Verse, which I'll call Spider-Verse 1610, and the Ultimate one I'll call Comic 1610. In Comic 1610, Miles Morales became Spider-Man after Peter Parker's death as a teenager at 16. While in the Spider-Verse 1610, Miles Morales became Spider-Man after the death of Peter Parker as an adult. Those are two different situations in which Miles Morales became Spider-Man. That means those two 1610s cannot be the same 1610. That wouldn't make any sense if they were the same 1610, as they both have differences. Again, we can also talk about the games. The Ultimate Spider-Man game seems to take place in our 1610, though not the 1610, as there's also another difference. That means there's a game 1610. And for Ultimate Avengers, those ones also take place in a separate 1610, because there have many differences from the comics that will separate them from taking place in the main 1610 Earth. So it seems like there are multiple 1610s. And also there are also multiple 616, as the main Marvel universe in the comics is 616, and the comics also, you can also note that the movies also want to say that they are also in 1610. Not 1610, I mean 616, which wouldn't make sense, as that because of the many differences between the comics and the movies. So yeah, kind of I'm a little bit sick, so that's why it sounds funny in this video. Let me just continue onwards. So with all those seemingly similar universes, why are they all always like this? An example in DC. The DC movies seem to be they're taking on Earth Prime, the main Earth. Well, that can't be sure, because of the DC comics also take place on the Prime Earth. And that wouldn't make sense because of the differences between the comics and the movies. You know, all the differences that are there. So here is my theory. My theory is that everything we thought was in a shared multiverse is actually in a separate multiverse. We will have, let me see it. There's, using the 1610 example, there's comic 1610 that takes place in the comic multiverse, Spider-Verse 1610 that takes place in the Spider-Verse multiverse, of course, and then there is game 1610 that takes place in a game multiverse of Marvel games that also has some. Yeah, but some Marvel games are in the comic book multiverse. Yes, that may seem like it, but no, that's just a comic version of the games. So that means they're separate. Secondly, there's Ultimate Avengers 1610. And because the Ultimate Avengers are less jacks than the Ultimates in that universe or multiverse, and mostly that universe, Spider-Man most likely didn't die, because Captain America would have taken him more seriously, because he's not a jack like in the comic book 1610. So this is a full-length version of my TikTok theory that I posted a few months ago. This is Supermax Z heading out.